My PMS is PMSing. Today has been weird as like for real. Like my hair, okay? If you knew how many awkward situations I've been through today. Oh, this is making me sick. At 26 years old, I realized that I'm socially anxious. Deep inside, I'm really, really scared that I will say or do something uncool, awkward, or weird. Guess what I end up doing? Exactly. And that only happens when I'm hyper aware of my words and expressions. And that happens when I'm around cool people. I want it or not, there are people who I think are cooler than me. I know what you're thinking, like, who is cooler than you? Every time I'm around people who I think are cool, I become a mushroom, you know? Like, most of the time, my head is full of words, full of ideas, full of thoughts, and I'm a professional yapper, and I can make wonderful conversations. Sometimes people have asked me, like, how do you even come up with those, like, things that you tell people in random conversations? So, most important thing is that the person I'm talking to should not be cool in my eyes. Otherwise, yeah, if I'm awkward around you, I think you're cool. Why am I so awkward? Can't I be like a normal person? Maybe our brains are wired to show us things in a worse way than they really are. But the fact is that we are anxious, you know? The fact is that we're uncomfortable after all the social situations. And what I realized is that this happens when you are concentrated on what you're going to say. And I've been controlling my every single one of the word that comes out of my mouth and every single expression I have on me. I've been aware of it so much that then it gets weird, man. It gets weird when you try to control it because you can't. Just remember that every single person you interact with think about themselves more than about you. Even if everything is like very awkward and everything. Can you remember at least one person that you had weird interaction with, like, and you dread them for being awkward? No. I've been in tons of awkward situations, but all of them consist of me being awkward. Obviously, other people has been awkward around me as well, but I don't remember what they said or what they did. But we always tend to think about ourselves, not other people. So that applies to other people as well. They think about themselves, not us. So I decided that I will focus less on the words I'm using and expressions I'm making. We don't have to act cool because we are cool. So if we would just stop trying, guess what's left? Pure coolness and swag. I lost my swag so many times today. Okay, we are not regretting anything. Only God can judge us, okay? Even if somebody's thinking about all the things you've said and they're dreading you, they must be a horrible person and they must not have anything to do in life to be thinking about that. Let's start there. I researched, and what I found out is that people who grew up around people who were outspoken, people who do not really care about what other people think about them talking about something, like really loud people, and that's been my case as well. In my family, there has been a lot of loud people who I was really careful around, so I wouldn't say anything wrong. This also goes deeper than that, whatever we're talking about, and it goes to shadow parts. I don't know if you've heard of shadow work. It is basically repressed parts in you. And I've been trying to understand how shadow work works and what it is for a long time. And finally, I found a really easy explanation of it. And right now, I will help you find your shadow parts. So basically, imagine that there has been a rumor going around about you. What would be this rumor that would make you sick? Like, what are people saying about you that would make you feel sick? Like, why do they say this about me? What did I do to deserve this, you know? Like, what would be that? That is your shadow part that you've repressed. For example, why am I oversharing about my shadows right now? I don't know, but one of them for me is like being uncool. Like this eh, not fun to be around with, and like I'm trying to cure it with different types of ways. For example, highlight therapy, my dance classes. I don't dance well, man. It's been 2 years already. Started to dance, but it is not easy, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, it is really nice highlight therapy when I go to groups to dance and stuff, which I don't do enough because I'm scared that I will look uncool and shitty. See, like, but I'm trying to put myself in more of those situations. So if you're a person who really wants to take care of this weird feelings, to change something in this, and if you think that this is not the way to live, then you should do it more often. If you feel awkward and you don't if and you don't want to be awkward, then you should start doing it even more. But obviously with some more information about it, what it is, where does it come from? Why do I have it? Because for me now I think it will make it way easier to go around and have random conversations with even cool people by just focusing more on the moment and being in the moment, like, honestly. Yeah, like, let's stop overthinking about ourselves. Why are you thinking about yourself? That is kind of form of selfishness, to be honest. Like, nobody's thinking about you that much. Basically, translation of us being weird with people, I think, is that your brain mode shifts to this one thing. Okay, this is important. Act well. And that is exactly when it goes off. You can't act well when you like command yourself to act well. So moment we start performing, our magnetic self just dies right there. So the real issue here is not awkwardness. It is monitoring yourself. And we're like, yeah, hyper aware of whatever the fuck is going on. So I also would recommend us, like literally myself as well, that we shift our mindset to do they like me to do I like them. Okay, do they like me? Am I doing it well? Am I saying this well? There are so much forced energy, you can't help but be awkward. So main goal for us is to become more curious than impressive. I've thought of being silent and being nonverbal and doing nothing and just not communicating at all. So I would feel safer. So that it would make me think that is better than being awkward. We just need to become genuinely curious about wherever we are instead of performing and monitoring ourselves. There is no one to impress anymore. We need genuine conversations. Probably that's also one of the shifts that could make our conversations better with strangers. Now that I think every single weird conversation I've had, I was not really into the conversation. I didn't care what we were talking about. I was solely focused on myself. Let's become selfish in a better ways, okay? Where you actually take care of yourself, you put yourself first, not in a way where you monitor yourself while you're having conversations with random people, okay? Now, if you think cool people don't try to be cool, they're just self-amused or some shit like that. It's like they're consumed by themselves. Maybe not in a cocky way, but in general. Like if they're in conversation and you feel they're cool, it's because they're engaged. They're like, having fun. That's why they seem cool. If they started to act cool, they wouldn't be cool. Cool people are engaged in the conversation. Their presence and engagement makes it cool. One of the things that we could do, become curious about present moment, like whatever you're talking about. Second, become more conscious and tell yourself to just slow down in the moment. I know some people get blanked, If you're one of them, I don't think I can help you. Make yourself be a little bit more slower and engaged in the conversation. Actually feel whatever you're saying. From my observations, low effort in conversations kind of translates into confidence, even if it's not true. It kind of looks like it. You're kind of comfortable with it, You're going with the flow. And try to focus on what they're talking about. become more immersed in that topic. You don't have to impress anybody else, even if it's the coolest person on earth. Even if it's not the most perfect thing you have to say, just be real, in the conversation. Just become more curious. Curious! What the was that? Real equals attractive. Also, one of the main things is that just let it be. Sometimes you need to surrender to this awkwardness. Just let it go. Just say, "Yeah, I'm awkward," and walk away. That's what I had to do today. Like, I was devastated by the amount of awkwardness made other people experience today. But I was like, what can we do? Sometimes I can be uncool as well, even me, when you're awkward while you're panicking becomes cringe. But if you're awkward, but you're calm, it's like charming. Just tell yourself inside, I am here to experience this. Not to be likable. It is hard though. We all want to be likable, I know. The moment you try to be cool is the moment you leave the version of you who is already cool. So, yeah, ladies and gents, I really hope you enjoyed this little awkwardness talk. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.
I wanna be cool. I wanna be cool. I wanna be cool. Please. Please, I'm a star.